Hello, dreamers. Welcome to the Lost in Dreams podcast. I am your host, Dylan Menzie. My guest today is the incredibly talented visual artist, Niyi Adeogun. Niyi is the creative engine behind some of PEI's most visually striking designs, this podcast included. As well, he is the creative director and CEO of the Zero Resistance brand. So happy to welcome to the show, Mr. Niyi Adeogun. Also, welcome to the show, Kinley Dowling, who is co-hosting this episode, which I forgot to mention while we were taping. Thanks, Kinley. All right. I think we're here.
All right.
Sweet.
Excited to do this.
Niyi Adeogun, thank you so much for being here. This is going to be so fun. I'm so excited to talk to you about your dreams and everything to do with your art. Because I am just such a big fan of yours. So, usually I like to start these things off asking, do you dream?
Do I dream? Yes.
Yeah.
I think my dreams are kind of weird. Most of them, I'm either like walking upside down or like
walking upside down.
Yeah, like it's really weird. So yeah, I definitely dream, but my dreams are just like super weird. Like,
cool.
Yeah.
Do you have one that sticks out in your mind as being one of your favorite dreams of all time?
Like if it's in terms of like life, life goals and all that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Which
great.
is, to express myself fully through my art. That is like a dream of mine, to work on several projects that I can fully express myself.
Yeah.
And to help people like also achieve that goal, right? So that's like the dream, right?
So when you say that you're looking to express yourself fully through your art, what does that mean to you? Like if you were looking at a time in your life when you're like, yes, I'm doing it right now. What are you doing? You're managing projects, or are you designing for all those projects, or?
Well, it's a little bit of both. So I do work on like several projects with different clients that sometimes I'm not even passionate about those projects, but there's some projects that I work on personally and I'm like, okay, this is something that I really want to do, and I've done a few of them like you've seen on the Zero Resistance brand and all that. So yeah, so it's a little bit of both, I would say. I don't know if that answers your question, but
I think everything answers my question. Anything you said is going to be fantastic.
Dope.
So have you ever used a dream as the basis of a creative work?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a time that I think I'd slept late. Yeah, it was actually Zero Resistance. Yeah. Yeah, so what happened was I just slept off working on some project and I woke up like 4 a.m. because I think I slept around 2. Woke up at 4 a.m. and this idea just popped in my head to have a brand where creatives can fully express their faith, like through whatever means that they want to use, right? Yeah. And I believe that idea actually was given to me by God like several months before that time. Right. So on that day specifically, it became clear. So ever since that time, I was just working, like I would go from 4 a.m. working on the brand to like 4 a.m. the next morning. Like I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't sleep because like I was just too hyped up about the idea. So I was just like running with it. So yeah. Nice.
I've had those times before too, where I was just so excited about something that I had to keep going, had to keep working. But yeah.
And I think that's like a check for me. Once I can't sleep because of something, I know like this is something that I want to do.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah.
So your goal is to inspire others to discover their purpose and passion in life through their art.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, who are you inspired by and what types of art inspire you?
Good question. I think I kind of answered this question like a while back. I was talking to a friend for an interview that just got released last week and he asked me a question like who are your role models or mentors or something like that. And I was like, well, it kind of depends on which field. So if it's in design, I have someone that I look up to. If it's in my character, I have someone that I look up to. If it's in fashion, I have someone I look up to. So it's not like, it's just one person that you get inspiration from. So there's a guy that I really respect in terms of graphic designing. His name is Temi Koka, is Nigerian, is based in Texas. And when I first started graphic designing, it was the one helping me, like, not really like watching every step I make, but like I would ask him questions and he would be so kind to reply. So he was really helping me during those process. And like, if you would see his style of work, it's kind of similar to mine because like, that's where I kind of drew like most of my inspiration from early on.
Did you like meet him in person before or just over email?
No, I never met him in person.
Cool.
I would love to
Someday.
though.
So you're just sending messages through Instagram? And
Through Instagram.
Cool.
That's so awesome.
Instagram has been really helpful. I think most of my clients, Instagram. I just like
Nice.
going to the DMs and I'm like, I really love your work. Let's work.
Well, that's how I met you. So this is
Yeah, exactly, right?
I also know that you said in your podcast that you operate either from a place of love or a place of fear. So I was just wondering if you could elaborate more on that.
Okay, so that podcast, I can't even remember what exactly. It shows that you really did your research, and that's really good, man.
Thank you. It took me all day.
That's probably maybe the first or second episode. I can't remember. Well, anyways, I think I was coming from the point of like, as humans, we can't operate from the place of fear, but only from the place of love. And what that meant to me was that I can't let my fears hold me back from doing things that I want to do. And really, like, one thing I needed to focus on was my motive. And my motive had to be love. So if I'm working on this project or I'm trying to inspire someone, you know, it has to come from the place of love. Like in my lifestyle, I have to love people. Like I think everything just revolves around love, and that's something that I want to reflect in my life, and I feel like I can also reflect that in my work too. And to give you an example on what that means, really, I remember when I first started graphic designing, I had guys that I was looking up to that had been 15 years, 7 years into the whole game. And I wanted to get to that point that they were at, like in less than 2 years or in less than a month even. And it wasn't making sense because like graphic designing is a skill. So you have to grow and you have to spend time. You don't just have it. Like you have to work for it. So I would always see them as competitors. I would always see them as like people that I would always see them in a bad type of view, like I have to be better than you. Yeah, that was my motive at that time, and I didn't even know that was how I was feeling until because I talk to God once in a while, so like not once in a while, but like almost all the time, and He made me realize that was something that I had to deal with, and it made me realize that okay, you need to approach this from a love perspective. And how I was able to do that was, okay, instead of looking at these people as people that you need to be better than, why don't you try and learn from them? Why don't you see them as people that you could, you know, genuinely look up to and talk to them like you actually want to learn from them, not that you're trying to bring them down or you're trying to, you know, pick every flaws in them, like in their work or whatever. So that, I don't know if that makes sense, but that was kind of what I was trying to
I think so. Also, I just wanted to note for everybody listening out there that Niyi's shirt literally says love on it and it's covered in roses. So just so everybody knows
that.
As I was listening to this beautiful speech about love, I was also watching love. Did you design that shirt? No,
I did not.
No,
this is H&M right here.
Okay. So I was going to ask, when you're creating a piece of art, when you're just looking at a blank canvas, like where do you start?
So basically the question is like, what is my creative process behind behind creating posters? I look through Pinterest a lot, so that helps. But sometimes I just sit down and just like look through stock photos on Splash or like Pixels, like free photos basically. And if I see something that I like, then I probably just try it. Like I just pick it and try it. So it's mostly trial and error. It's a very tedious process, but I think I'm fine with it. But there's some times that I do have dreams like of like crazy ideas and I try to implement them in my designs. So most of them are like motion graphics and all that. But right now I'm actually trying to learn motion graphics, but then I still try to find a way to make that into like a still design, like a poster or something like that. So basically what I'm just saying is that I do have ideas like that just flash up in my head, you know, and that's kind of my process right now.
So for me, for example, like when I have those ideas, when things come to me in dreams or in the middle of the night, I can quickly go to my phone and I can just sing a melody or say the lyrics into my phone. So how do you capture those ideas? How do you save those ideas?
Well, I would advise that, first of all, like if you have an idea that pops up in your head, just go do it immediately.
Right. Yeah.
Record yourself saying the idea like several times, because it happens where like you have an idea and the next like day you probably forget if you don't actually write it down. So how I do capture those moments is through sketch. I just have I think Apple has like this thing on Notes where you could actually sketch. So sometimes,
they do.
Yeah, so I type a lot, so I just like sketch and just type it, or describe what I'd see in my head.
Very cool.
And half of the designs that I've written in my notes, like I haven't done any of them. Well, I'm still walking through the process, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd imagine it'd take a long time
It took a long time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
several notes.
So I noticed in a lot of, especially your recent stuff that you've been doing, there's a lot of angel wings in the designs, either through the face or in the body sometimes too. And I was wondering what the significance of that is to you, or is that something that you were just looking through Pinterest and you saw an angel wing and you're like, I'm going to use this? Or did you take those photos?
So most of the photos I use are like stock photos. I don't take them. But the angel wings, I've always used angel wings. Like I've always put them at the back of people, like ever since the beginning. But then I was like, what if you just tried on someone's head? What if you tried to blend it on a person's head? And I tried it once and was like, this is actually fire. Yeah. So ever since that time, I've just been doing it over and over again. And it doesn't feel like, it's like, once I put it there, if I don't like the design initially, once I just put the wings there, just like, this is dope. Like, this is just perfect, But now I'm trying to find something else. Like I tried using an octopus, like last three designs. So I'm just trying different elements right now, but it doesn't really have a significant meaning. But sometimes when I do create a poster, how I name the poster sometimes actually relates to what I'm trying to pass across through the design.
Right.
So maybe at the end of the day, when I'm done creating, I would have a meaning for it. But initially, I don't really think of an idea that I want to create, like this particular concept. It's usually after I'm done with the design, then I make sense of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know right now you're doing this insane challenge, 365 posters in roughly 365 days.
Yep.
And it is unbelievable the sheer amount of ideas that you need to have for something like that. And I think you're 243 in or something?
232 or 31, I'm not sure. I think,
That's a lot of posters.
Yeah, it's a lot.
How do you mentally overcome that hurdle of 365 posters? Is that...
Oof. Good question.
Are you like secretly doing 10 in one day and you're like, taking 2 weeks off?
I think when I first started, I was like, okay, you know what? This was like 2018, November. I think 2018 was a bad year for me. In general, it was just bad. Like, I think at the end of the year, I was just like, okay, I don't think this year really went well.
Right.
So I have to make 2019 better. I have to find something to keep myself busy. So this guy that I mentioned earlier, Timmy Coker, right?
Yep.
He actually did his own that year. And I think he finished it within 2 years. So I was like, you know what? Let me do this. Yeah. And I've always wanted to do that since the beginning of 2018, but I was talking to a friend of mine and I told him that I wanted to do that, and I was like, well, you probably should wait till you get enough followers or enough like traction before you can do that kind of thing. And I kind of took his advice until that November where I was like, you know what? I don't care. Like, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
So I made up my mind at that point that I was going to do it. So for January 2019, by mid-December, I'd created 30 posters. Like I literally woke up one morning, December 1st, sat down on my bed and created like 12 posters within 7 hours. I didn't leave my bed for 7 hours. You can imagine.
Wow.
I was just on my bed creating.
Bed source.
Yeah, it was it was intense. So I created the first month, and the reason why I did that was because of school. Because doing engineering and like trying to do design to it, it's a bit tedious. So I was like, I'm going to create posters ahead of time.
Right.
So I did for 30 for the first 30 days of the month. Then by mid-January, I did I'd done 15 for February. But then at some point I couldn't keep up. It was like school was getting too intense and I just couldn't keep up. So now I think I suck at the challenge because like I'm supposed to...
I don't think so.
I should have been done by 2019 December, but this is 2020 June and I'm still at it.
I mean, well, like you said, he took 2 years to do it too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I feel like you're doing
great.
more than I ever could.
Yeah.
And every design is just as good as the last one too. You're not phoning anything in. And maybe you are, but to me it doesn't feel that way. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and you asked something about my mental health, and I think I was able to deal with that in the beginning of the challenge. When I missed a day, people were like, oh, so I guess the challenge is over. Like, I guess you're done because you missed a day. And I had to address that publicly. I was like, because people were DMing me, like telling me like, yo, like, I guess you're done. I was like,
I just haven't uploaded it yet, you jerks. Like,
so I had to like go publicly and tell them that I'm not doing this for any of you. Like, I'm actually doing this to grow my skill and to grow my portfolio. So like, this is not for anybody. This is for me. So I had to tell myself that, and I had to understand that I'm actually doing this for my own self-growth. That's why I'm not bugged that I haven't finished up the challenges. Like, I'm just going with the flow,
Yeah. Well, as a fan, I look forward to the next one. I don't need you to do them every day.
Just check in every once in a while.
Yeah. What programs do you use? Are you designing on an iPad or are you designing on a laptop with a
I first started with a tablet, like a Galaxy tablet. Yeah, and that wasn't really working. Like, it was working, but the quality of the posters or the designs I was creating wasn't that good. So I switched to using Photoshop. So I use Photoshop a lot, and sometimes I do like use a Wacom tablet. So I do sketch the idea before I first create it.
Right.
But yeah, it's just mostly Photoshop.
So the faces in your designs, that's all stock footage as well.
Yeah, it's all stock footage. I had an exhibition in September last year, and all the pictures I used, I actually do know all of them. Like, it was crazy because like a friend of mine in Ottawa, he's a photographer, and he took all those pictures. So I just DM'd him and I was like, yo, like, would you like me to use your pictures for my exhibition? I was like, go ahead. He had an exhibition in Ottawa, and he actually inspired me to have my first one here. So it was like really hyped up about me doing it. Yeah.
Awesome. Have you ever worked with, I know you're friends with him and I only know him by his Instagram name, I am Jesse. Have you ever worked and used his photos? No?
Yeah, like, he's taking all the pictures for Zero Resistance. Like, everything that we've tried to create, like, he's my go-to guy, like, for photography.
His stuff is awesome.
His stuff is really awesome, yeah.
It almost looks like a film grain or something he's got on it.
Yes, like I really love that vibe. Like, he's really good.
Anyway, this isn't about him. This is about you. So, some of my favorite pieces that you've done from this challenge, the Poster a Day challenge, have been, I don't know if you even remember these names.
I would remember.
You would?
Yeah.
You're definitely going to remember this name because you named it after when you finished it, which was 4:54 a.m. And so that was an all-night process for you.
Yep. When I was done with that poster, I didn't think people would actually like it. But looking at the time, 4:54, I was like, you know what? I don't care at this point. Yeah. I'm tired. I need some sleep. I'm just going to post it. And I didn't have a name for it. So I was like, you know what? 4:54 would be the name.
Do you do that a lot? Like all-night process? For
yeah. Like the last one I did, the 2:31, unqualified. That one was a lot of trial and error. Before I came here, I was actually trying to do a video explaining the process for that poster to show people like, oh, this is actually what went into this. Like, it wasn't just something that I, just created like in 30 minutes. It took time.
I wanted to talk to you about Zero Resistance. And I wanted to talk about creatives coming together under one roof and what your vision is in the future and where you want to take it.
Good question. I was actually thinking about that before I came. I'm doing a bit of like reconstructing on the brand. And by that, I mean like trying to make things a little bit more organized, trying to assemble a creative team. Like, I'm not supposed to say this, but like Jesse is going to be part of the creative team. So
you heard it here first.
We're going to be working on like a bunch of projects in the next couple of months. Because of COVID, like it just messed up a lot of things for me. Like, honestly, I was supposed to be working on a project with Catalyst Clothing.
Yep.
That was supposed to start in March, but because of COVID, like that's probably till like fall or maybe next year. But we'll see how that goes. But anyways, the goal of the brand really is to, inspire creatives to create like for the same goal. And I think like the goal of the brand is to express my love or their love for Jesus or for God and through creative media. So that is the goal behind that. And I think, it creates a sense of community, and that's what I'm trying to create. And that's what I'm trying to establish here. I've had people talk to me and tell me that, like, why would you want to start Zero Resistance on the island? Why could you just go to Toronto or something, a bigger city? And I don't know, it's just something about PEI, man. I just feel like PEI needs this kind of thing. I feel like, we need people like this to show some interest in building a community. And the biggest goal I have for Zero Resistance right now is to have a creative team, have, a bunch of projects going on, but also have creative house. So what I mean by that is to have like a place where creatives can come and create, like, so music producers, artists, like they could come. We have like a studio, we could have like, art galleries, we could have like painting studios, like that is the goal, and have like a store as well for like merch and stuff like that.
Nice. I'd go there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. So you grew up in Nigeria.
Yep.
And I wonder if you could talk about that a little bit and like your whole life. I want to hear about it all. So.
Oh, nice. As of now, I'm 21. Was born and raised in Nigeria in a family of 5. I have 2 younger siblings. One is about to turn, I think, 16 or 17. I'm not sure. I know I'm a terrible brother, but he's growing old now. He's probably like 6'3" now, taller than I am. Like, It's crazy. Like, my brothers are taller than me now, and I'm just like, last time I saw them, which was like 4 years or 5 years ago, I was taller than them, and now I'm hearing that they're taller than me. Wow. But so growing up in Nigeria was fun. I would say like it's a very, very interesting experience. I wouldn't want to trade it for anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Even though like we have our own struggles that we're dealing with, but I grew up in a Christian home. My mom is the sweetest to me. I think she's one of my biggest supporters, and also that's my dad too has been very, very supportive of my work recently. And I think it's a very interesting experience growing up in Nigeria.
Sweet. So 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And you. I have 3 brothers myself.
Oh, nice.
And
Firstborn?
No, I'm the middle child.
Nice.
I'm the 3rd out of
Problem
4.
child.
Wow.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Problem child.
The
I'm an
least
only
favorite,
child.
I think, is what they said. Yeah. Well, that's really cool. And I've never been to Nigeria before.
Man, you should come, bro. Like,
yeah.
it's
I'd
dope
love to
place
go.
for real.
It sounds awesome. Do you have any reoccurring dreams?
I thought about this question before I came. I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think I've had any dream like that I would have again. If I have it again, then that's a weird dream. Like,
yeah.
But I don't think I have any dream.
Do you get deja vu?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, that happens a lot, but not recently. But I do have deja vus frequently, though.
Yeah, me too. I don't have any reoccurring dreams either, but I get deja vu a lot, which kind of feels like a reoccurring dream a little bit. It's like half of a reoccurring dream or something.
Yeah.
Do you have any nightmares? Like, what's the scariest dream you've ever had?
I think the scariest dream I've ever had was I jumped off a plane.
What?
Yeah, I jumped off a plane. I had like
No parachute.
I don't know. Yeah, no parachute. I jumped off a plane, and I didn't see this, but like right under the plane was a helicopter. So I just fell right in the. When I woke up, I was freaking scared. Like, it was a very terrible dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Doesn't
happened.
sound fun.
It didn't sound fun. One nightmare was when I was about to have like the Genesis exhibition that happened last year. The dream I had was like, it didn't go well. I flaked, I messed up speaking. Like, the artworks were not, there on time. It was just, it was terrible.
That's a nightmare for sure.
That's the worst dreams I've had.
Would you ever go skydiving in real life? Have you ever gone skydiving?
I've always wanted to go skydiving, but I don't think I will do it now.
No, not after that dream.
Except if I go with I think you can't even just go skydiving like without someone, strapped to you.
Yeah.
So,
you kind of got to do that first.
Yeah.
I've never gone either, but I would like to at some point in my life, I think.
The reason why I wouldn't go is because I'm scared of heights. So
So I kind of got that from your nightmare being I jumped out of a plane. And I was like,
I had a dream once that I felt like I was falling off a building.
Yeah.
And then I woke up on my floor because I actually fell out of bed. And I was like, that was weird.
Well,
anyway.
That's weird.
Yeah. I've had dreams like that too, where I've fallen out of bed and fallen in my dream at the same time.
Dang.
Yeah.
Like,
One time I used to do a lot of BMX biking and stuff growing up.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to fall asleep on the bus all the time. And I was dreaming that I was BMXing on the bus. And I was just kind of sitting with my arms down and my head kind of down. In my dream, I did a bunny hop. And when you do a bunny hop, you have to pull your arms up and then push them forward. And it kind of picks the bike up for anybody listening. So I was sitting in my seat with my arms down, and I just lifted both my arms up and pushed them forward in my sleep, and I woke myself up doing that bunny hop motion, like, and now I'm awake. I don't know.
You didn't punch anyone.
Dreams are weird.
No, I didn't. I didn't punch anyone.
Good.
Yeah, in the back of the head. They are weird.
Dreams are
Super,
weird,
super
man.
weird.
So weird.
Yeah.
I am so intrigued by this upside downness. Do you mean like you're walking upside down, or the whole world is upside?
There was a time I was walking upside down. Like, it was in my high school. I was walking upside down. Everyone
Like walking on your hands, or like walking on the ceiling?
with my legs, like walking on the sky, like
Bizarre.
upside down. And everyone was like normal walking, and it was weird. Like,
That's cool.
Were people talking to you as if it was normal?
Yeah,
you know, like
like-
you just walking
Okay,
on the
man, what's
ceiling.
up?
yeah, very weird dreams. I actually saw a meme yesterday. You would see like a house, you know, and the house is underwater. Then like right beside your house is SpongeBob SquarePants, like the pineapple house. Like, and yeah, sometimes I could have dreams like that, like very stupid dreams, man. But
Yeah.
it's just
I
what
mean,
it is.
that's just the way they go, I
Yeah.
feel like. Kinley, you have some really, really insane
Oh, I
dreams.
have
Are
the
you
weirdest
looking them up
dreams.
right now? You
Well, I was
do
just
have...
looking up upside down. According to the internet, to dream of seeing something upside down represents feelings about a situation being the opposite of what you originally thought.
Ah.
Okay.
Do you remember what was going on around the time of... No. Okay.
Yeah, I don't try to interpret my dreams. When I have a dream, like I wake up and I just like, yeah, it was just
Forget about it.
just forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm picturing, and I don't want to put ideas in your head now, but I mean, one of your posters for this 365 could be somebody walking upside down. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
it
Could be. Yeah, I've actually thought about that. But yeah.
Well, great. Well, it didn't come from me. It came from you. It's like, that was going to be a question. You kind of answered it, but yeah, I was going to ask, do you interpret your dreams? And you don't.
No, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, if you feel like you get something from it, it's kind of like astrology in the same sense, where it's like, if you're taking something from it, all the more power to you. You know, if it helps you get through something, then interpret whatever you want out of your dreams. But sometimes they're just too weird. It's like, I don't want to know what that was about if it was about something. Yeah.
But then I actually do have friends that God actually speaks to them through their dreams.
Oh, wow.
For me, when I first became a Christian, I was so sensitive to everything. So even if I have a dream, I'm like, God, what does this mean?
Yeah.
You know, but I got to realize that it's not like that for everyone. For me, like, God definitely doesn't speak to me in my dreams. Like, no. That doesn't work. So, but I know people that God speaks to through their dreams to them. So,
Wow.
I mean, so.
Yeah, I mean, if they've got a channel to God, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'd take a channel to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, God receiver.
I feel like my dreams are sometimes like that. Like I'll have like a great idea and I'm like, oh man, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Or then like sometimes it takes weeks to write a song and I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. It's taking forever. But once in a while, this happened twice in my life where something clicks and I'm like, I'm not even writing this. Something else is coming from up there through my hand, through the pen. I'm like, this is a perfect song. Thank you, universe / whoever's up there / all the gods. And it's so cool. And sometimes like through my dreams, I'll have these really spiritual awakenings that sometimes, but sometimes they're just ridiculous. I just found a dream from April 8th. As soon as I wake up, I write them down so I don't forget. My friend Jen Grant buys the insurance to The Price is Right.
Okay.
And then I'm in a huge swimming pool. It is very deep. I dive deeper than I meant to, and I half panic for a second because I don't have enough air. But then I breathe through my nose and I can take in air. It blows my mind at first. I do it again. I can breathe in through my nose without any water getting in. It's incredible. I jump in even deeper. I don't know if I should tell anyone that I can breathe underwater.
Wow. That would be sick though, to breathe underwater.
Wouldn't it? Although usually you need gills to do that, and I feel like that's not a good look.
Yeah. Oh yeah, facts.
But sometimes I can fly. My dreams.
Yeah.
That's a
Have you ever
bonus.
had a flying dream?
Oh yes.
Nice.
Yeah. For
Those
sure.
are some of my favorite dreams of all time. Actually, on the subject of angel wings, one time, and I think I've told this in the last episode or in another episode of this podcast, but I had a belt that I put on, and the belt gave me angel wings, and then I was just flying around my childhood neighborhood over all the potato fields or whatever was out there, blueberry fields, and surprisingly accurate. I think the overhead version of what I was flying over seemed like it was real. But yeah, that was really, really fun. Have you ever had a lucid dream?
Like you realize
Okay,
that you're in a dream state?
Yeah, you realize that
Oh,
you're having a
yeah.
dream, and then you can control what's going on in
Oh
the
yeah.
dream.
Well, there was a time I had a very weird dream. I was talking to my friends about it like recently, and for some reason I was in the jungle, right? And I was running away from someone. Then I just started like running with my hands like an animal. Like it was
Whoa.
this is a dream.
Yeah. But
I was
your
running
form didn't change at all. Like you
No,
still
I
like
didn't change to
Okay,
like
yeah.
wolf or something.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just like running with my hands, and surprisingly, I was faster. Then I don't know. I stopped after like escaping from the person. I stopped. Then in my dream, I said I need to wake up. Then someone like was right behind me and like told me that no, this is real life. This is not a dream.
Whoa.
Scary.
I was like, and I was like trying to slap myself, and I was like, this is not working. I might as well just go on with life. Then I just woke up, and I was like, yo, thank God this was a dream. Like, for real. I actually had to pray about it because that just seemed intense. Like it was just, yeah.
I had a dream once, and I don't know if we have enough time for me to tell this dream because it's
No, it's fine.
it's a very long and involved dream, but I'm pretty sure I spoke with the devil.
The nightmare.
The nightmare. We went to Paris, and underneath Paris, there's the catacombs, which is like there's 6 million skeletons or something buried underneath the city of Paris.
Yeah.
And now they're all arranged in all these really beautiful and creepy arrangements. So like there's crosses made of skulls, and there's hearts made of skulls, like literal human bodies, and there's walls made up of femur bones, and you can walk through these catacombs. And there's also like beautiful scripture everywhere and poems about death and accepting death. And yeah, anyway, I would recommend going.
Okay.
It
But
was weird and
it was
scary, but
really,
beautiful.
it was really
at the
weird.
same time.
I can show you some pictures after. But we got back to the hotel room, and that night I had this insane dream where I was getting chased by a demon, and I was teleported back and forth between like the streets of Paris and other cities, and having to protect this pink. It was like the shape of a watermelon, like a melon shape, but it was pink. And I knew nothing about what was inside it or what it was. But every time I would fight him off, I'd get transported back to another apartment. There was a black lab there. And then the black lab bit my arm, and like my arm went down its throat. And then I saw this big black silhouette on the end of the hallway with devil horns and white eyes, and it was the most terrifying thing. I woke up with a new perspective on the world because I was like, that was the devil.
Wow.
Anyway,
what were you watching during that time?
Yeah.
I feel like what we watch kind of influences our dreams. Like, so maybe,
definitely.
I think we had some spicy salsa before supper. Or before bed.
Spicy salsa.
Yeah.
Who knows? What else do we want to say? Oh yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say some of my favorite designs that you've done: 4:54 a.m., Mistakes, On My Mind, Seek, Surrender, Satisfied, Guide, Praises, Soul,
Naming all of them?
Reach, and Heaven Sent. Those ones. I went through every poster that you've done for this 365-day poster challenge, and I
appreciate
picked out
that,
a
man.
couple that I was like, these ones really spoke to me.
That's dope. Wait, you said there's one that named Guy.
Guide.
Oh, Guide. Okay,
Yeah,
I
Guide,
remember that
yeah.
one. I was like a guy?
You remember Guy? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's dope, man.
Yeah, man. I'm not joking. I'm a huge fan, and I'd love to work
really
with
beautiful.
you in some
Sure,
capacity.
bro. I'm down for that, man.
Well, I mean, I guess should we wrap it up here, or does Kinley? Do you have some
I was just
questions?
going to say, what's your Instagram and what's your website?
Yeah, let the people know where they can find you
Right,
online.
so you can follow me on Instagram at Niyi Adeogun. So that's NIYI.ADEOGUN. You could also follow my brand, the Zero Resistance brand, on Instagram.
At Zero
or
Resistance
brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you find it in my bio on Niyi Adeogun.
Right.
And you can check out my website, zeroresistance.co, or you could check out my portfolio, niyiadeogun.com, and you could buy my stuff to support if you want. So yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Awesome. Thank you so
Great.
much, Niyi. This has
Thank
been
you for
a pleasure.
having me. I really
Awesome.
appreciate this.
Yeah. Oh, it's been so fun.
good.
Thanks. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Dear dreamers, thank you so much for listening. You can rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe to the Lost in Dreams podcast wherever you're listening from. Make sure to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/DylanMenzie to find out how you can get access to bonus content, merch, music, and more. Every dollar is so appreciated, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This show is produced by yours truly, and the music is from my newest record, Lost in Dreams, which you can stream anywhere right now. If you have a dream you want us to know about, send me an email at menzie.dylan@gmail.com, and your dream could be featured on the show. Thank you to the Canada Council of the Arts for supporting this project, and I'll see you next week.